Leola Mosley is my great grandmother, and she would often tell and recount the story of how Pickens, Franklin Mosley, met his untimely end. It was a warm day, and Pickens was sitting on the side of his wagon by a flowing creek just below the family house under the shade of a large oak tree. The air was calm, but suddenly something startled the horses. Maybe it was a flock of birds taking flight all at once. The horses bolted and the wagon lurched violently. And in the chaos, the wagon overturned and rolled over Pickens, breaking his neck. Remarkably, he survived another 4 or 5 days after the accident. During those final days, Pickens called on his very close friend, Mr. Jim Warren, and entrusted him with the care of his children. They were fairly young. He had very young daughters and his son Horace, who was 19. Horace had just completed 2 years of college, spending one of those years at Texas College in Tyler under the guidance of Professor Henry Bradley. Years later, in 1951, my grandaunt Florence had the opportunity to meet Professor Bradley. And by then, Professor Bradley was, an elderly man with a full head of white hair. His home was on North Palace Avenue there in Tyler, just a few blocks away from Texas College. And I remember her saying it was a modest home, but it was full of warmth, and a lot of memories were shared. Horace did not have an easy life after the tragic accident. He had to drop out of college and be the one to take care of his sisters. Now, Ladonia was 22, Katie was 14, and Lucy, of course, was 7 years old. Mr. Jim Warren talked about the challenges that they had, and Horace had to divide the land between his siblings. And despite those hardships, Horace's strength and determination was really evident to all who knew him. As a young man, Horace was elected secretary of the Chapel Hill CME Church, a position he held with great pride and dedication for 32 years. Before that, he had served as the Sunday school superintendent for 20 years. Clearly, his commitment to the church and the community was unwavering. After Horace retired, Mrs. Fannie Warren took over as secretary, and his nephew, F.G. Gibson, became the new superintendent. Now, this story, like so many, is passed down from generation to generation. It is a testament to the resilience and dedication of the Mosley family. And though the details may be sparse and the legacy of the Pickens and Horace family lives on through these stories, it's important for us to share with each other and keep talking about those tales and stories that we've heard from our elders, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and pass them on. Maybe someday we'll collect all the stories, put them in a book, or a movie, or a stage play. Let's keep it going.